Long before genetics could explain their striking appearance, these cats were revered as divine entities. In the ancient Thai Kingdom of Ayutthaya, manuscripts like the Tamra Mao described a revered feline known as the moon diamond. According to local folklore, one of these cats was tasked with guarding a sacred royal goblet. The feline stared at the relic with such intense focus that its eyes permanently crossed, and wrapped its tail so tightly around the base that it developed a permanent kink. By 1878, that mythical status caught the attention of the West. An American diplomat in Bangkok shipped a Siamese cat across the globe as a gift for First Lady Lucy Hayes. After a grueling 2-month oceanic voyage, the cat, simply named Siam, arrived. He took up residence in the United States Capitol, becoming the first feline of his kind to walk the halls of executive power. This combination of sacred folklore and elite political backing propelled the breed to global prominence, establishing their reputation decades before modern science could decode their biology. Beneath that regal exterior lies a highly tuned sensory machine. Fast forward to the height of the Cold War at the Dutch Embassy in Moscow. Staff noticed the ambassador's 2 resident Siamese cats acting strangely. They were obsessively clawing at a specific spot on the wall, crying out with their famously loud, raspy voices. Assuming mice were behind the drywall, security teams broke it open. Instead of rodents, they uncovered a network of 24 hidden espionage microphones. This hearing allows them to detect low-frequency vibrations and static discharges far beyond human range. The Meezer nickname reflects this alertness. Their constant vocalization is often a direct reaction to a sensory environment we can't even perceive. To understand how these cats operate, you have to look at their cells. Every purebred Siamese kitten is born completely white, with 0 trace of their signature dark markings at all. Their distinct look is a form of temperature-sensitive albinism. It is driven by a mutation in an enzyme called Tyrosinase, which controls the production of dark pigment, or melanin. Inside the womb, constant warmth deactivates this enzyme, resulting in a white coat. Once born into cooler air, extremity temperatures drop. These cooler conditions reactivate the enzyme, triggering a rush of melanin synthesis in the ears, nose, paws, and tail. That dark pointed coat is essentially a living biological thermometer, constantly reacting to the physics of heat. Depending on the specific genetics, this thermal reaction creates 4 standard variations recognized by cat registries: seal, chocolate, blue, and lilac points. This same albinism gene is also responsible for their piercing gaze, but it creates a strange optical illusion. There is absolutely 0 blue pigment in a Siamese cat's eye. The albinism mutation completely strips the structural layer of the iris, called the stroma, of all melanin. It leaves the front of the eye entirely transparent. This diagram shows how light interacts with that transparent layer. When ambient light hits the eye, longer wavelengths are absorbed deep into the dark retina, but the shorter blue light waves crash into the stroma to violently scatter backward. It is a phenomenon known as Rayleigh scattering. Their iconic gaze is quite literally harnessing the exact same physical laws that make the Earth sky blue. Decades of human selective breeding have fractured the Siamese structure into 2 distinct camps. The traditional variant, known as the Applehead, retains the robust bones and rounded skull historically seen in Thailand. Competing against it is the Modern Wedge variant. Bred strictly for the show ring, it features a radically elongated, triangular skull and massively oversized ears. Regardless of skull shape, both share an intensely demanding psychology. Their cognition levels are hyper-advanced. They easily learn verbal commands, they play fetch, and eagerly walk on leashes. This intelligence requires constant stimulation. They are Velcro cats, a trait that makes them prone to destructive boredom and severe separation anxiety if isolated for too long. Living with a Siamese requires managing the social and intellectual demands of a working dog, all housed within a feline frame. If kept strictly indoors and well-managed, these cats boast an impressive lifespan, routinely living 15 to 20 years, with some pushing 30. Yet their engineered genetics carry serious, invisible risks. The extreme skeletal structure of the modern wedge narrows their nasal passages, directly amplifying their risk for respiratory failures and severe feline asthma. They also face a high risk of progressive retinal atrophy. This hereditary disease systematically degrades the photoreceptors in the eye, slowly turning those brilliant blue eyes completely blind. Here we see an anatomical cross-section of the liver, exposing their most lethal threat. The breed is prone to systemic amyloidosis, an incurable glitch where abnormal, toxic proteins systematically accumulate, violently clogging the vascular pathways and triggering massive organ failure. The exact genetic machinery that creates their aesthetic perfection is also pre-programmed to orchestrate their biological destruction. Despite these risks, the sheer visual appeal of their thermal mutation drove breeders to aggressively weaponize those genes, crossbreeding them to spawn entirely new lineages like the Balinese, Himalayan, and Tonkinese. While their short, fine coats require minimal physical grooming, their minds demand maximum emotional and psychological investment from anyone who brings them home. The Siamese remains a unique intersection of ancient folklore and complex molecular physics. They are demanding, vocal companions that reshape the daily lives of those who own them.